What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the fam. This is my beautiful little assistant.
Hi everyone.
And what are we going to be doing today?
We're going to make me look 3D.
3D. Sounds pretty fun, and it's super easy, too. We're also going to be talking about things that are destructive in Photoshop. Can you think of anything that's destructive? Okay, not that kind of destruction.
Roll it.
Alright, so we are going to start in Photoshop here. As you can see, we have two different layers open. What I did is I took a picture of my beautiful model with two separate poses, and it works best if you have a solid color background in this image. Okay, so we're going to work with two different images, and it's going to have a solid color. Now we're going to work with a lot of lighting and a lot of colors, and so we're going to try to be as non-destructive as possible. There's two ways of working in Photoshop. You can either be destructive or non-destructive. Destructive is just going to tear apart your image, tear apart the pixels in the image, and non-destructive allows you to easily go back on things. Okay, so in case we screw up or Kinsley pushes the wrong button here, then we can easily go back and fix things later. First thing we're going to do is double click that top layer on the right side there, to open up the layer styles. And all this effect is really just messing with the colors. And so under advanced blending there, you see channels. Yep, channels. Just go ahead and uncheck some of those boxes and see what you get. There you can see. So we're doing this to the top layer, which adjusts the opacity of that layer. What's opacity again?
See how see-through it is.
How see-through it is, like transparency. So you can play with those check boxes, but I think the best one that we're going to go for during this effect is unchecking the R. You can keep it like that if you want to, if you like that one. For the one that I'm doing here, I'm going to uncheck the R. So once you find something that you like, go ahead and hit OK. And then what we're going to do is see how the eyes are not lined up a whole lot. What you're going to do is just take your Move tool. If you hit V on your keyboard, yep, that'll grab your Move tool. And now just use the arrow keys on your keyboard and just line up the eyes a little bit so you can see where your eyes end and where they start. And if you have a problem seeing, you can hit Z on your keyboard for your zoom tool and just do a couple clicks there, and that'll zoom in, so then you can actually see where your eyes are. Okay, so now you hit V on your keyboard again, and now use your arrows to line up your eyes. There, you got it. Yep. So we want those eyes to overlap a little bit. That's kind of the effect that we're going for. If you want to zoom back out again, you hit Z on your keyboard, and then hold down Option, and then click. So then your plus sign turns to a minus. There you go. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is add a levels adjustment layer. Now, adjustment layers are what I'm talking about when I say non-destructive, because that makes it really easy to go back and adjust things. So let's go ahead and add an adjustment layer. So it's down there at the bottom, right next to the mask button. Way down at the bottom, it looks like a circle. Yep, create new fill or adjustment layer. Go ahead and click that, and you're going to add a levels adjustment layer. Find it?
Yep.
Got it. Levels adjustment layer, okay? And we are just going to pull in, so see the first set of sliders up here?
Yep.
We're just going to pull them slightly in. So the left one controls the blacks in your image, and then the right one controls the whites in your image. So go ahead and pull those in just a smidgen. I'm going to go 15 with my black. That's fine right there. That's good. And then your whites, you're going to pull in a little bit more as well. And so this is going to control the lighting, so the lights and the darks within your image. Okay, now we're going to go up to see where it says RGB up here at the top. Do you know what RGB stands for?
Red, green, blue.
Red, green, and blue. Nice job. We're going to click that drop down and go ahead and choose the blue color. And then not the first set of sliders that we did last time, but the second slit down at the bottom. Again, that's going to be your darks and your whites. We're going to choose 20 in your output levels for the first input box. Yep. And then your second input box, we're going to do like right around 230. There you go, 230. Okay, and so take a look at your layers panel there and see how it added another layer in our layers panel called levels 1. So now we can always go back in there and we can always adjust the levels no matter how far we go within our process. We can always go back. Let's add another adjustment layer, except this time let's add a hue and adjustment layer. Do you know what a hue is?
No.
It's a color.
Okay.
So we're going to do hue and saturation. Do you know what saturation is?
No.
It's how bright or dark the color is. So what we're going to do is we're going to choose red underneath the drop down. So see where it says master? We're going to choose red. And we're going to pull the saturation of that red down. So if you pull the saturation of that red down, it pulls some of the color out. It's not quite as bright as what it normally was. Okay? And then we're going to do the same thing with cyan. So you're going to go up to the where it says reds, and you actually might have to do green because you have more green than cyan, but I have cyan. So then you're going to pull down the saturation of the green also. And see how your green goes from really bright to really not so bright.
Wow.
So it just sucks the color out of that. That's where we're going for. So we might have to actually try and go back and see. Let's see, you have reds, magentas maybe. Pull some of the magenta out of your pink too there. Now it's not quite so strong. That looks pretty good. Okay, and then again, look at your layer stack. It stuck a hue and saturation in there, so you can always go back and just click on that layer, and then you can adjust the saturation, the hue, the lightness of that if you need to, and or the levels. Instagram has a pretty cool effect. One of their filters is called a vignette, and everybody does this vignette. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down and add another adjustment layer, and it's going to be a gradient adjustment layer. Gradient adjustment layer. All right, and right off the bat you see it does a color where it says gradient. It shows you a color right here, and on the right side of that it just shows a checkerboard. So what that says is it's going from one color to transparent. The opacity is set to 0. Okay, so we want a black color in there, so go ahead and click on that gradient. There you go. And then our color slider right there, go ahead and click this color slider, our color stop, our very first one, and if you double click that, it'll allow you to change a color or choose a color. You're going to choose black. 0, 0, 0.
Yeah, that means it's totally black.
All zeros, all black, all day, you know it. Go ahead and hit OK there. Then go ahead and hit OK again. And what we're going to do is we're going to change that style where it says linear to radial. That's saying instead of having a straight line gradient, we're going to have a round gradient. And then you're going to check the box for reverse. And what that's going to do is it's going to make your corners of your image or the outsides of your image black.
Wow.
And if it's too big, maybe you have too much black on there, you can just increase the scale a little bit where it says 100%. You can just drag that out and just make it look good. I'm going to go at about like 166, 177 looks pretty good actually. So the larger you get, the bigger the circle. Okay, so it adds just a little bit of shadow on the outside. Yep. And then go ahead and click OK there. And then again, that added another gradient fill in your layer stack. Okay, and so the last thing we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit more detail to this. So we're going to highlight everything that we have done in the layer stack. So click the bottom layer and then hold down Shift and click the top layer. And what that's going to do is it's going to select everything in between. So that's a real quick way of selecting all of your layers. And then we're going to duplicate the layer. So Command J duplicates the layer. Command J. And since we had them all selected, it's going to duplicate all the layers. All right, so now we're going to right click with them all selected. Don't click anything, don't touch anything, just right click and then do a merge layers. So it's going to merge all the layers that we have selected. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go up to Filter, Other, and High Pass. And what we want to do, the trick with the high pass here, is to adjust the radius to the size where you're just about to see color. So you can crank it up to about 2, 3-ish, between 2 and 3 somewhere, just before you start getting color in there. And this is going to vary based on size of your image, but just before you start getting color, and then you go ahead and click OK. And then we're going to change that blend mode where it says normal right above the layers, change that to overlay. And what that does is it adds detail. So you may not see what it did until you toggle the visibility on and off. Okay, it just adds a little bit more vividness in the eyes and in the hair. All right, we're done. How does it look?
Good.
Nice job. See you next time.
Bye. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button down below and smash that subscribe button to be part of our design fam. See you next time. Bye.